What makes a dock hurricane-proof? We asked the expert.
That you could solve that need, right?
Yes.
And so, is there anything anyone can do to harden their dock or anything like that?
Yep. Yeah. So we have what's called a better built dock now. And so these are for houses that are on the river. The river on the Cape Coral side got destroyed. And even some of our new docks got destroyed, along with everybody else's. So we got smart, and we figured out a better way to build docks for these, what I would call high surf type areas where, I mean, the waves are just relentless. We're building with a sure flow. We're building a commercial dock with sure flow decking. And that's, I don't know if you've seen it, it's that gray decking that has all the oval holes in it, so water can come in it. You know, there's no lift on it, right? And we double bolt everything. So it's basically a commercial dock. And unfortunately, people had paid twice for docks. They're done just rebuilding at current standards. They're now doing them at commercial grade levels where, you know, they're going to be there now. So we build with 10-inch pilings. We build with larger stringers, more additional bolting throughout it. So our whole intention is for that dock knock to lift or raise or shift, and a lot more X-bracing. So that's how we do that. Now, that doesn't mean every dock needs to be done that way. It's just in these high surf areas, and maybe, I don't know if you know where the kidneys, they call them the kidneys in Cape Coral. They're near Dolphin Road and Bayshore. They're just these oval type pieces of property on the river where, you know, you got a bunch of houses on them.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them entries coming into those waterways, if you're along that route, that's something you'd want to do as well. But areas where you've got protected harborage, there's you don't have these waves coming from the river directly at you. That's where we just build a regular dock for you.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So if you're inland a little bit on a canal, it's not necessarily that big of a issue.
No, yep.
But if you're on the river, now that you say that, we were showing a customer a home on the river, and I think I seen a dock like that. And is it like a grate you can see through it?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Anything else that you do the docks to harden them, or any other advice that?
Yeah. So, something interesting enough is there's two things about the industry that, you know, once we started in it was all dock builders, they don't wrap the pilings all the way to the seabed. Great job security. And it's you can look at it two ways. One is the client perhaps doesn't want to pay to have divers dive underwater and put piling wrap all the way down. So some areas, as far as dockage, the canals can be as much as 12 to 15 feet deep. And we just always option the client, like, hey, your best investment is to wrap these pilings to the seabed because they'll last forever. And I'm convinced for sure 80 years, because every piling that we've pulled for a demo, everything that's in the seabed, it's like petrified. There's no shipworms. Are you familiar with shipworms?
No, I guess not. I don't know what shitworms are.
They're termites of the sea. They eat the piling. So you have all these little holes in the piling, just like you would a truss that's been infested with termites. And that's what takes out these pilings. And so every now and then you'll see during a low tide, you'll see these pilings. They'll look like two pencils touching together.
Yep, seen that.
That's the shipworms that have eaten the entire piling. Now, had they originally wrapped the piling from the top down all the way into the seabed, the shipworms don't get in there. So we have commercial divers where if the dock is too old, I just let people know you just wait until the dock fails and then redo it. It's not worth your money to do this. It's a 20-year-old dock. We're not going to be able to save it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got like a 10-year-old dock, we can scrape the pilings. We seal them to take all the oxygen out of the pile, killing the shipworms, and then we wrap it. And from there, that piling will continue to survive many, many years. So
you threw out a number. Did you say 80 years or 50 years? Did I hear that?
Yeah, 50 to 80 years, no problem at all. All the dock pilings that we pulled at 25 years that are still in the ground, there's no rot on them at all. Not even a little bit. Yeah. But you can see, and then when you take off the piling wrap where it's actually wrapped, there's no rot whatsoever there. It's just between the piling wrap and the seabed, the area that hasn't been wrapped, it's full of shipworms and rotting out. We have samples at our shop, actually, and we have them on a business card to just kind of give a visual to people. Like the money you spend to have these things continuously wrapped down in the seabed is the best money you'll ever spend.
I mean, that's amazing.
Yep.
So do you wrap the pilings below this, like where the piling goes down into the ground? Is that wrapped too? Or?
Yeah, so it gets wiggled down into the sand and seabed. It's a skinny sheet of plastic, so it kind of slides right down the piling and down into the sand seabed. So
Okay, well now I'm curious because up north, when you say you putting in footers or whatever, or they go down to solid rock, right? Is
Yep.
the what they're trying to do? What do they do here? How?
great question, which was the second part of dock construction. A lot of people don't know about. We're only required to drive them to resistance, basically where they won't go drive down anymore. Well, if you've got cap rock 2 feet in, that's as far as you're going to go, right? All of us contractors have what's called a rock exclusion in our contract. And that means you have the option, if you want us to drill through them, punch through them, the rock that is, to set your piling further. Once we get through it, so for example, it seems like the last 3 docks we built, we ran into rock. So we invested in a drill rig where we'll drill through the rock to get to the softer dirt so we can drive our piling 8 to 12 feet into the seabed. And that's what we suggest. And especially if you're on the river, any place where there's a lot of wave action, for sure. But Cape Coral, the reason they don't call it Cape Coral for just any reason. There's a lot of coral, and so we have the equipment to drill through it, or we'll tip the piling with a spike. It's medieval. It's just this pointy spike, and we use a large hammer. We just smash through the rock. And either war, depending on how hard the rock is, it usually takes about an hour to get through it. Now, there's some areas that are a few areas that we ran into where the rock is so hard there's no sense, we have to drill through it. And sometimes it's 3 to 4 feet thick. But if I'm setting tiki pilings are really tall. So picture this, the wind will come and destroy the dock itself because there's so much uplift. So we want to drive those. So we have to let the client know, you have your options here. Mm-hmm. Prefer to do it the right way if you want this thing to last. And most times people get it, and it stinks having to say this is where we're at. Some people are, how can I say, they're a little salty, for lack of better words.